Hi, welcome back to Attitudes. Our next guest first captured our attention stealing scenes from Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop. No easy task.
But he did it, and now he's caught our eye with the endearing character known as Balky, the Mediterranean sheep herder, on the ABC series Perfect Strangers. It's a hit. Please welcome a man who's very much in the spotlight, Bronson Pinchot.
Oh, you guys, you know, you were great, except for you and one person over there.
They couldn't bear the feeling they were making you look bad. Right, exactly.
But I like that.
I know, but basically people are so wonderful.
People are so kind
Wait,
and
now
nice.
here's what happened.
Yeah.
Bronson came in not like most other guests. First of all, he walked into the studio and demanded to come out and talk to the audience before the show. He acted like a total crazy man, and then before he came down, he said to the people sitting in the bleachers, "Don't ever react when I come down. Don't react at all, and let's see what they do at home." Are you always this crazy?
Well, I hate anything like formulaic. I mean, I hate it when it's like, okay, when the guest comes on, you applaud. First of all, because they already know I'm here, A. B, they already knew I was behind that thing, so it's totally... It is such
totally a lie.
I mean, it's like, there's millions of points of IQ out there, so why should they pretend? And it's like, I thought it'd be interesting to see if they... It's just so bizarre on TV to see a bunch of people just like, yeah, there he is. I saw him this morning on Regis. He was boring then, he's boring now. What's the point? I just think,
Change the universe with this philosophy.
I just think it's fun to do stuff like that.
People say that you've never had an unexpressed thought. Is that true?
No, it's not true, but I have a higher percentage of expressed thought. I mean, the person that said that was Curtis Armstrong, who plays, you know, on Moonlighting, and was, we were in Risky Business together, and when it's not true that I don't have any expressed thoughts, because sometimes, you know, you're sitting with someone and you think, this is the worst smell I've ever been near in my life, and you really can't say that because it would hurt their feelings.
How does that come up much? Is he saying something to us?
Come on, Linda, let's go.
No. He just spoke word away. No, but he's talking about, you know, all right.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. Come back over here. I'm not going to talk.
Now, what...
I like the color scheme here, by the way.
Thank you very much.
But he just... This is the guy that was interviewing me. It's for Us magazine, and the guy was sitting with me in my apartment. Is this on cable or something? Is this showing?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the guy came to my door, and he was expecting, like, I don't mean to be gross, but he was expecting, like, a housekeeper or something. And I was living in this little apartment, and I came to the door myself, and he was like, you know, thinking that, you know, and then well, I didn't have any furniture, and we sat down on boxes and did this interview, and he said to me, how are you doing today? And he was so stiff. And I had just got out in the bath. I had just gotten up. I had just gone to the bathroom, and I forgot that I'd had like all these peppers, and I thought there was like a ton of blood in my stool. So he said, "How are you today?" And I said, "I think there's blood in my stool." and I thought that would, I thought that would put him at his ease. Anyway, then he called some other people that knew me, and he said to my friend Curtis, you know, when I first met Bronson, I said, "How are you?" And he said, "I think there's blood in my stool. Is this normal?" And Curtis said, "Yeah, what's the problem? I mean, that's Bronson."
The blood or him talking?
Just that I would say it, because I thought it was so sad that this perfectly nice person would like be acting...
Stiffen up,
well, yeah, like, what, you know, big deal.
Well, wait a minute. You are now, for what all of us believe, is a star. Now, with that, you know, we have this sort of image. Has the position that you're in now changed your life? Obviously not a lot.
Well, it hasn't changed me, but it has changed other people, and I don't blame them for that, because there's a simple chemical reaction that goes on, as you know, and you know, too. I mean, when you are constantly in front of people, I mean, it happens to me, too. I was in I was trying to go into this coffee shop, and as I walked towards the glass front, there were like, you know, like some people in the front that went like, and I thought, oh, gee, do I want to really go in and have a cup of coffee after all? Because I don't want to be stared at right now. And I thought, just go in, and maybe all they want you to do is smile and just be. So I had this long talk with myself, and then I walked in, and standing at the counter was Catherine Deneuve, and I went, doing, and stared at her for 20 minutes, you know, and I couldn't rip my eyes off her, and it was just because I, you know, saw her on the Chanel commercials for 15 years or whatever, and she's just planted in there.
Yeah, we all do that.
So
Yeah,
it's not anybody's fault. It's like
yeah.
your face is planted in there.
Yeah.
And not only is it planted in there, it's like your whole thing is planted there. I mean like, you know, 20 or 40 million people sometimes a week will see me like do goofy stuff or cry or do whatever, and then like they feel like they know you, and then they see you in the supermarket and they kind of glom on, but it's just a thing, you know, it's just a reaction. Like, that's the reaction.
Now
so
you
it's
have
all
a
right.
very interesting background in that you grew up, you had a
all right.
tough childhood. You grew up.
Oh, me personally?
Well, you said you grew up on welfare, and you said to yourself
Yeah.
you had to make spectacular grades, which you did. You got a scholarship to Yale.
Right.
But although your background also included a mother who was very much into great books and learning, when did you get to the place where you said, I'm here, I'm never going to go back to that life again, I'm really going to make it?
Well, those are two different questions. I mean, I did reach a point in my life materially where I realized if I didn't make any really stupid mistakes, I would never have to worry about being poor again. But that's not quite what you're asking.
I guess, when did you feel confident that you were going to get out of the situation you were born into?
Well, it's still a number of questions, but I think answering them may be interesting. I mean, I never felt, the only way I was ever trapped was materially, because we didn't have any money, and my dad wasn't there, and we didn't have any child support, and we just didn't have any money. And my mother 10 years ago, when I was in high school, was supporting 4 kids and herself on $11,000 a year, which is what, not any money at all. And she used to get paid every 2 weeks, and at the end of the second week, we would always have no food, period. And, I mean, in a sense, like every single day, I like say to myself, my God, I'm like past that forever. But you mean like, was there one point when that happened?
Sure.
It might have been when I got to college, and I looked around and I saw that, like, it suddenly clicked in my head that I had gotten there through sheer willpower, you know, because I had I was like living this naive, charmed life. I mean, I went to Yale, which was in New England, and I'd never been outside of South Pasadena, and I didn't even know about coats or winter or anything, and I didn't have any clothes. And I was like, oh, I guess I could die of exposure. Huh. And I don't know how, but like I found, I discovered long underwear or whatever, but I guess I kind of had a sense that I was actually had like a... I always felt like I had fairy godmothers, who took care of me, because it's always like something happened and it was all right.
All right.
We'll go on with this, okay.
Are we through? Now you're supposed to say that. Don't be ridiculous. Go ahead.
I don't have my glasses on. Are we through? Don't be ridiculous. More with Bronson after these messages. Oh, I'm supposed to say, don't be ridiculous, like that?
All right.